Guys, you may be wondering how I found this out, but there is a total of 22 countries in Oceania. You may be wondering how is there a total of you may be questioning how is there a total of 22 countries in Oceania when I can only count one? Well, the first one is really easy to explain. Australia is just the largest country of Oceania, but is not the main part. If you go more closer to North America, you might spot a little island called Hawaii. But it's not just one island, it's multiple islands. So far, that's two countries right now. 20 more to explain. There's also this one country that no one that is barely even remembered. Their name is New Zealand, and one of the well-known cities in New Zealand is called Auckland. It just became its capital today. Wellington could come back another day. But yep, New Zealand is a forgotten country. Barely anyone adds it onto their maps. So that's 3 so far, 19 more. New Caledonia is a French state of France located in Europe. But if you include France in the thing, that would be four countries. That would be 4 countries so far. Then there is this new country that. Then there is also this country that is pretty young, but not the youngest country in Oceania. It gained independence from Australia a long time ago, and it also shares a maritime border with a well-known island federation called Solomon Islands. So far, that's 6 more. Then there is Fiji, but there is an island above Fiji. You may be wondering how, but if you zoom in, you might actually see an island named Tuvalu, one of the smallest countries in the world. And it's pretty hard to spot. It shares a maritime border with no one so far. And you may be wondering why I said rest in peace Tuvalu. Well, it's because they're sinking underwater due to something. I don't know what it's called. Global warming. Fiji's capital is known as Sava, and Tuvalu, I believe, doesn't have a capital. Then there is Samoa, with its buddy American Samoa. So far, that's actually a lot of more. That's a lot of countries. Like 6 plus 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. That's 10. That's 10 of them, and some more to go. There's the federation called Micronesia, located somewhere I don't know. I don't know where it is. But there's also this one island called Palau right next to Philippines. Just look closely and you'll find it. The island shape looks like a jellyfish, and this place has jellyfishes without their stingers. So if you want to visit Palau, go there for free. There is also a federation called Micronesia. It's just a lot of islands. So that's 12 so far. So that's 12 so far, 10 more to go. There are these 2 islands that belong to the USA. Guam and Northern Mariana Islands. They both look Japanese since it's near Japan, but if you think hard enough, it actually belongs to the USA. Search it up. It's actually true. So that's 14 right now, 8 more to go. There's also this really small island, the smallest island in Oceania, called Nauru. And there's also another one called Nauru, much smaller. And here's a fun fact for you. Nauru is actually a part of the Federated States of Micronesia. And this island is so small, it's to the point where it could be the second most smallest, but according to Google, it's actually the third smallest. But it's actually confirmed to be the smallest in Oceania, since there's no island in Oceania that is much smaller than Nauru. But if you believe harder, Nauru is... But if you really think about it, Nauru is actually nothing big, is actually nothing smaller than Nauru, and is actually bigger if you look on it, if you compare it to Samoa. So right now, that's 16 confirmed. 4 more to go. You may think that Tokelau is another country, but it is. It's just owned by the two islands known as American Samoa and Samoa, with the capitals Apia and Unknown. But located in the horizontal deep, you may see a little island known as Tonga. There's also another island named Wallis and Futuna, an island that isn't really owned. Just like Tokelau and Wallis and Futuna, they aren't really much of countries. But if they have an official flag, they could be confirmed as a country. And Wallis and Futuna has an official flag. And this territory is actually French. So that's a lot of countries so far. And that's 22 countries in Oceania in all. No more. Or is there? There's actually Marshall Islands and Kiribati. I'll show their locations. Marshall Islands is another federation of islands right next to Micronesia, the federated islands. But right next to them is a whole nother story, Kiribati. It's pretty easy to find on maps. It's also a pretty small country. But you may be saying, hold on a sec, but that's 24. But don't worry, I'll break it out to you. If you just ignore for the fact that Wallis, Tokelau, and New Caledonia, if you ignore for the fact that Wallis and Tokelau ever existed, you'll receive 22 countries in all of Oceania. So that's the explanation of how many countries there are truly in Oceania. But the truth is that there's actually 24. I lied at the beginning. There's actually 24 countries in Oceania. Meaning that Google was actually lying to you. There's only 24 countries in Oceania, making this one of the biggest federations of islands in the world.